So yeah, so first of all, we are joined by Rana, Pratap, and Raghav Agarwal. Rana will be graduating this year, as well as Raghav. So yeah, so first question to, let's say, Rana, like how did your squash journey start? And like after KGP, how did you start squash?
Okay, so I used to play squash before near my home. There was one uncle who used to play nationals, and he put like a small squash camp, and no one even knew what the game was. So I went and participated in that and learned. And then once I came to Kharagpur, I was like super happy to see that there is a squash court. I didn't expect it, and I just went there and I saw a lot of people playing, and I just started playing. That's kind of how it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So Raghav, I heard that you started playing football at first, like in your first, second years. And how did you transition towards squash?
Yeah, so I started playing squash after coming to KGP only. So at first I give the NSO trials for squash also, but I did not get selected. And I got bronze medal in the freshers tournament. And like a full-fledgedly, I started playing in the first 3 years Inter Hall tournament for my hall. And after that, I became secretary, and then I continued playing squash.
So yeah, like we hadn't had like Ishan sir wasn't with us since your first years, I guess, and he joined a bit
Since
later.
our third year, he joined
Yeah,
in our by the end of our second year, I guess.
yes,
Yeah, by the
second year.
second of
So
our
like before a PTI, how did you guys, practice, and how did your seniors help you?
Yeah, before
Hmm.
PTI, it was not structured. Like we had only one court, and it was mostly occupied by the Inter IIT players, and rightfully so. So we used to play at night. Like I used to play from 12 to 2 at night during the Inter holidays. So I started playing on my own. Got guidance from the Inter IIT players as well. Harsh and Manish were really supportive. And then when Ishan sir came in, like he was totally into. He was looking to develop the players who are upcoming, the junior players.
It's nice.
I'll
So
give it to
like,
Raghav on that.
so like you guys played your freshers tournament, right, in your first year. So how was that experience, and like how was like how did you feel like playing with other freshers, and like Rana, what position did you come in your freshers tournament?
I came first in the freshers tournament, and it was all tournaments are fun, no doubt, even if you win or lose. Just playing that match and just giving your best is it's too much fun. So it was obviously fun, and yeah, I mean, a lot of people haven't played squash before, and yet they were playing amazing. So that was great to see in the freshers tournament. I had some prior experience, so I had a upper hand at that time, but obviously over time doesn't matter because everyone's practicing pretty much every day.
So Raghav, like how was your freshers tournament compared? You said you came
So,
third.
like, I played my first squash match, like first competitive squash match in the freshers tournament only, and I
Okay.
came third. So it was good to see that a lot of players who were there in the competition didn't know anything about squash, but they were enthusiastic to play the sport. So it was a good experience. Not a lot of students were into the game. Only Rana and Siddharth Kamani like had prior experience of playing the game, but other students also had enthusiasm.
Correct, correct. How different is your life from a non-sports person in KGP? How like, would you
Oh,
call
very
yourself, so
different, I think.
like would you call yourself like you were sports oriented your most of your college years?
Pretty
Uh,
much.
Pretty much.
It's thanks to sports that, at least for me, I was able to get through college because of sports. Because otherwise, it gets kind of boring. To be honest, you go to classes, which if you're talking in as brothers, we don't go to college, and you have so much free time, and you're usually, wasting most of it. And when you have sports, you go in the evening and you play till the night, and you just clear your mind and you eat some good dinner, I don't know, some chicken or something, and you feel fresh basically. So you can do a lot more things. Mostly my college life was completely revolving around sports for sure. Yeah.
So Raghav, I think same goes for you as well,
Yeah,
right?
same goes with me. Like
Uh,
there were times when you used to like give 6-7 hours for the squash. We used to practice in the morning, then we used to practice in the evening as well. So it
Correct,
was
correct.
all revolving around the sport. Like we had to schedule our sleep according to it because we had to get up early. And because of squash, and other sports also, we got a lot of recognition also in the campus. So that is also important. Like squash gives you a timetable, it helps you maintain a timetable, it helps you get recognized. So it plays a really pivotal role in the campus life of any student.
Yeah, and
Correct.
especially considering squash is a sport where you take a racket and hit a ball on a wall, you can let out all your frustration. So sometimes
right.
we'd go at like 2 a.m.,
Yeah.
just put some music on. And
Yeah, I also
Yeah,
remember
that is
like,
a really big plus point. Like we don't have any like restrictions that you have to play in this particular time only. You cannot play at night. So there were no
that's
restrictions.
really good. Yeah.
correct,
And
like that.
it's a big opportunity like which we got, because the squash court is not easily available in cities also. And even if when they are available, they are really expensive. But IIT KGP provided it for free, and they also provided us the equipments. So it was a big plus and a big opportunity for anyone who wanted to play sports.
Correct.
Sounds
Yeah, squash had a upper hand. Like we could have practice solo, and I remember late night squash practices also. So yeah, on the contrary, like on the opposite side, like ever regretted being too much into sports?
No way.
if any, like कि
No
बहुत
way at
ज़्यादा
all.
देर कोर्ट पे रह लिया, पढ़ाई कर लेना चाहिए, ऐसा any regret, something
No,
like that?
no, not at all.
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, at least in my case.
No,
Yeah.
no.
So
Even if I would not have played squash, or even if I would not have played any sport, I would have maintained the same CGPA, I guess.
Yeah, or worse.
It doesn't
okay,
matter.
yeah, that's great to know. So like just a fond memory, like which is your favorite inter-IT match and why? So, Raghav.
So, like I played only 3 matches. 2 were against the weak opponents, and one was against one was against IIT Roorkee, which I lost eventually. So it was not a good experience, to be honest, but like it was a good learning experience. I got to learn a lot, like how to play in big matches, how not to panic, how to keep your composure. So it was a good learning experience, not a good experience, to be honest. That's it.
Correct. So what about you, Rana?
I don't remember which match, to be honest.
Because I remember you telling that you were kind of scapegoat in your silver medal winning match.
Certainly. That's for sure.
So that is a match which you lost, but your team won, right? So what was the mindset for that? Like, what
The
you knew
mindset
you
for
were
that
going to
is,
lose. You knew you were going to
the
lose.
way that the way that I went in was, I just thought, I'm just going to, I have no pressure on me. In fact, the pressure is on the opponent now. So I'm just going to go and I'll play as I play at home and make sure that I get some points, basically. The goal was obviously to still win, but considering the fact that there was such a huge, skill gap, it was certainly not possible at that point.
Yeah, like no offense, but yeah, because it's a strategic lose, right? But still
Exactly,
a win for the win for it's a win for the.
I'm happy to be a scapegoat for
correct.
for
Nice.
Kharagpur, yeah.
So like this is another common question. Like what kept you motivated? For those regular practices and waking up in the morning.
It's frankly, we didn't require much motivation, I guess, because the fact that it was so much fun was the motivation. That was the motivation.
Correct.
Like otherwise, I look at it as opportunity cost. If I don't go and do that, what am I going to do instead? I'll maybe attend a class, maybe waste some time somehow. Instead, I'm just going to go there and have fun.
Correct.
And it's something that not everyone does, so that makes it a bit more special as well.
So like Raghav, I remember I used to call you in six in the morning and all for practice and all that. So like, do you do you regret those, or like you're still happy that you were able to play?
No, I don't get anything about participating in sport.
I think we should cut all those questions.
I think no one does.
Yeah, obviously. Like
so
some people think like this guy is calling me for practice.
Maybe it was not for any like achievement or any medal for which we used to play. We used to play because we loved playing.
Correct.
So we didn't require any motivation as such.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so like this current situation is quite worse. Like we have already missed one inter-IT, and probably the next inter-IT also is like we'll miss. So where do you see the IIT KGP squash team coming up in the years?
Oh, it's gonna be good. I can. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good. We have some good players, including, I mean, excluding you, obviously. And
Uh,
yeah, and I'm sure there'll be new players coming up, and the interest can either go up. I believe it won't go down from now. Let's hope for that. And yeah, let's just make sure that people practice for years together and get to that
Correct.
IIT, inter IIT,
So
level.
like with that, obviously you guys are graduating this year, and like we hope that like you get to travel back to campus and meet the actual freshers in the coming years. So uh, like uh, how would you, like, obviously you can't stay for, like, you're not a college student anymore. So like what suggestion would you give me as a who's going to become a senior to juniors or other seniors like Aviraj and sir, to how to bring up newer players? What suggestions would you give, Raghav? Any suggestions?
I think like these scouting events that we usually do in the start of the year, where we just let anyone come and try the sport out just for once, those are really useful because not everyone who's an inter player has played before. In fact, a lot of them haven't. Very few have.
Correct.
And for that reason, if we give them that chance in the start, then if they think they're interested and they actually have the passion for it, in 1 to 2 years they'll catch up and grow a lot. So those events certainly have to go on, and along with that, if someone's really interested, we have to make sure that we give them an opportunity to actually grow. Basically,
Correct.
give them time in the court, give them the equipment as much as we can, and make sure that they have fun as well during the process. Yeah.
Raghav, what about you? You have been like playing after
Yeah,
only fourth year, in from your fourth year. So
yeah,
like it is possible, right, for freshers to come up, learn the sport in 3 years, and come to Inter IT.
yeah. It is completely possible, and it is also important to scout good players. Like I myself was scouted by Manish and Hush, so it is important that the senior players scout good players. Let it be like it can be in open ID tournaments, it can be an inter hall tournament, which is a big tournament for freshers, like people who are new to sport. So it is important that you like scout players and then introduce them to sport, like help them initially, bring them into the bring them like introduce them to our sir, and then I will like move ahead with them. So it is
Correct.
important, like we bring new players, we have to keep on the enthusiasm. It's not about like the four players who play in variety, but it's also about the culture of the sport in the
Correct.
campus.
Okay, yeah, correct. So like just a fun question, like which Inter IT team according to you guys, like you guys actually liked, like say a fellow Inter IT team, which team did you like?
Hmm. Like, as people or as their skill in squash?
uh, let's have answers for both. I think it will be
Okay.
good to put it
Um,
out there.
have, like certainly a few players and a few teams have become good friends.
Correct.
I don't have like a this intra IT team is my favorite or something. It's more like the
Mhm.
people in each of these teams. Some of them have become close friends, and we keep meeting in matches. So that's kind of how it is. Yeah, I wouldn't say I have the answer to your question. So that.
Okay, okay. Raghav, any particular?
So I think Vedant is a really good player to look up to, also considering the fact that he started playing after coming to college. So he was a good motivation for all of the players who started playing after coming to college. And he was also modest, so which is a big quality which we don't see often in players.
Correct, correct. Okay, so like on the contrary, which team did you hate? Like which team did you not like? कि इसके साथ मैच हो गया, अरे यार क्यों मैच करा लिया? हार जाए तो भी चलेगा, ऐसा. Like
ऐसा तो क्यों होगा, हार जाएगा
नहीं
तो भी
नहीं
चलेगा.
मतलब like कि ऐसा मतलब इंडिया पाकिस्तान वाला फीलिंग.
अच्छा.
ऐसा कोई टीम?
It's usually those
So
teams where it's going to be a tight match and you have to go into qualification. You have to cross that qualification, or it's an important match and it's going to be a close match. Then you'll hate them for sure, at least during that small time period. But later it just dies down. Like you're all friends in the end, so it
Okay,
doesn't matter. Yeah.
that's obviously sportsmanship. Yeah.
yeah.
So other than that, like ending on a good note, any final suggestion which you want to give to juniors, Raghav?
So like it's really important to be indulged in a sport. It can be squash, it can be anything. It is really important to be a active member of a sports team, because it will help you maintain your timetable. It will help to keep you fit, and it is a good opportunity which we are getting in IIT KGP, which I know for a fact now that we don't get after graduating from college. So we are getting facilities there. We are getting matches to play. We are getting free equipments. We are getting the recognition. So it is like we are not going to get this opportunity after we graduate from college. So make the full use of it, try to capitalize on it, and you can manage everything. Like it's not like if you are into sports you won't be able to maintain a good CGP, or you can't maintain a good POR. So it's possible to maintain everything. So like try to be in sports and give your time to these opportunities which you are getting in this college.
I agree. And especially in college, time flies really fast. And these, like whenever we go for outstation matches, or whenever there are different tournaments, these are actually the timelines by which I realize that years have passed, because they are the most fun time I've had.
Yeah,
so, I mean, if I have, I would 100% do this again and with zero regrets. And I suggest that pretty much everyone at least try a sport and just try to improve in it and have fun, because it's not just a physical thing, it keeps you mentally fit as well, and that really helps, especially when you have such a monotonous day going on.
One more aspect I forgot to add is about Inter Hall, which is a very important culture in our college. Like the coming freshers, they haven't had their halls allocated yet. And then, like, how would you describe hall tempo for the freshers' sake? How would you describe like what it is, like what does it mean to you? What does competing for your hall mean?
Yeah, it's very similar to how it is when you go to an inter-IIT match, and you're competing against other IITs. You just have the feeling that, this is my IIT and we have to win. It's just the same thing over here. And the good thing that we have is, I mean, the reason why we have this inter-hall is that this is a good preparation for inter-IIT as well, because though the standard might be a bit different, the fact that you're playing with so many people cheering you on and booing you, and the whole atmosphere, it makes you prepared for what's about to come later. And just being a part of that is going to be a memorable thing for sure, and you'll remember it forever, I'm sure.
Raghav, you want to add anything?
Yeah, so as I already mentioned, like Inter Hall is a big scouting event for the Inter IT team. So it is a good opportunity. It is like an audition which you are giving for the Inter IT team. So if you can perform well in Inter Hall tournament, you will be considered, you will be called for practice for the Inter ITs also. So for the freshers who want to participate, like give it all. Inter Hall is a really big tournament. It has a lot of tempo. It has a lot of tempo associated with it, and it is also like important because in inter hall matches we don't have a established team in our halls, so we have to develop the team. We have to train the players ourselves. So this helps to improve the sporting culture. Like if I'm training players to be a part of my hall team, then I'm in a way generating 3 squash players, and this happens in all the halls. So that is a way in which inter hall is really important. And as far as hall tempo is concerned, in KGP, it is really important to have hall tempo and being associated with your hall of residence, because those are the people who are going to be connected with you. Those are the people who are going to have strong bond with you in your future as well after graduating from college. So if you are into sports, you have a bond with your fellow teammates, and also you have a bond with your other hall members. So it is a really important tournament.
So, like on this note, like I would like to end. Thank you, Rana. Thank you, Raghav, for your time.
Thanks,
And
thank you, Siddharth.
on behalf of the technology students in Khana, I would like to wish luck to you all.